this is the first time since 1945 that a Jewish organization is being classified and perpetrated by the German security service. Let's say, not the youngest Jewish woman is something that evokes, of course, association and the historical meaning of all that, and actually the return of the Nazis. So this classification of the internal security service of Germany is something that did not come totally by surprise for the people who follow the developments in Germany. We see already for more than 20 years a very, accumulating repression against pro-Palestinian groups and leftist groups. So also, people who are active against climate change in Germany are being persecuted as terror organizations without doing really something very, destructive or something like that. So it was kind of surprise only in that sense that we were never classified as a group that was suspicious to be extremist. We were classified immediately as an extremist group, and this is because we grew in the last 2.5 years, I would say. And what Israel is experiencing all over the Jewish world, that most of the Jews, and especially the young generation, is not identified with Israel, perceives Israel as an apartheid state, as a racist project, and all these, examples that are being put into the IRA definition, which is also part of the persecution of people all over the Western world and shutting them down. That was the first time that the Jewish organization was persecuted like that. But we experienced already 20 years that this is the first time. So it was 2016 that it was the first time that the bank account of a Jewish organization was closed, our bank account, yeah? For example, we got afterwards the Peace Prize because of our campaign, because it made us bigger, actually. I mean, every time they persecute us, we become more popular because people know more about us. So we reach more audience. And every time they see, not only with us, yeah, with everybody who's active on that field, that they have to higher the measures of repression, and therefore, this is exactly the trend that we are seeing, and this is also our role, because we are active in Germany. It's not that we have something to say in Germany that people who are not Jews cannot say. Being Jew is not a qualification to say something about political issues. It is, though, important for us to be active as Jews because Israel is speaking in our name and we want to say not in our name. And in Germany especially, we have an important role because Germany claims to protect Jewish life and, to feel guilty because of the Holocaust. And what they do with us exposes actually that it's not about Jews, and it's also not about Jews in Israel also. I mean, this is not the way to take care of people. And the moment they beat Jews, they persecute Jews, we can expose it, that it's about political interest and not about pseudo guilt feelings. Of course, there will be more persecution because this is the aim of this, classification. Actually, the internal security service do not have something against us that we did against the law. Yeah. If you would see what they gave the court, it is really shameful, also intellectually. But I, of course, expect more legal challenges, also from our part, because this was only the first track. And the Ministry of Internal Affairs can go to a higher instance, and I guess they will do that, and they will follow whatever they can in order to exhaust us. For us, of course, it's part of our political activity because we gain something from going to the court. And we did it without being sure what will happen, because we know we live in Germany. But we thought whatever answer we will get, it's a good answer from an activistic point of view, and also from a personal point of view, so that we know where we live. And I know that other groups are planning to sue also. We were all assigned as groups that are supporting BDS, although BDS was not at all an issue in the court trial, because BDS is actually the most liberal thing that you can do, when you're active against such a brutal occupation and genocidal state. It's hard to say a big win, because actually the fact that we went to court shows what Germany became. So I would call it a symptom. Of course, it's a big step, and it's if the courts are still standing this pressure, it's also an important sign for Germany. But we were standing there quite alone. We were not supported by all the liberal parties or society actors. Maybe they give money, and they donate money for that here and there, but it's not that they were speaking up for that. They are waiting that the Jews will do the work for them. We are experiencing actually state repression. That means that we are facing the anti-Semitism and the racism of the state. That means that we have to deal as Jews with policemen, with institutions who are censoring us, canceling us. So the people among us that can be active and can go out are the ones who are independent. Economically, or too old, or retired from their work, and therefore we do that also in order to fight anti-Semitism, to show that not all Jews are like the Jews that Germany is subsidizing, actually, and that there are also Jews who are protesting and are willing also, to put their body for that, and being beaten by the German police, and being defamed, and all the repression that everyone here is experiencing, and Palestinians and Muslim people are experiencing that much higher. I mean, we are the small victim here. So this is what we are facing, and this is Germany. I mean, we had some good years in which Germany was playing the liberal game. And now, the economical situation in Germany has changed, and actually what is standing behind that is nothing that has to do with guilt feelings. Germany learned the Jews are white, not that racism is bad, as Joseph Massad said. And behind that, there is the idea of Germany to reverse 2015. Germany is dependent upon migrants, upon migration, and upon this plurality, but Germany does not want to have it. So they are telling, actually, all the migrants, you can be here if you're good slaves. You can do the work for us, but you're not going to get any political rights. So actually now we see a fight about the identity of Germany. Is Germany a migration state? Which means that also migrants, children of migrants, whatever, will be in influential positions? Or is Germany a white supremacist country where, white Germans are controlling what is being allowed to be said? Where are you going to be placed in this hierarchy? This is the fight. And in this struggle about German identity, we are getting in. And if they say that they do that because they want to protect Jewish life, they can kind of, bypass the racist component, which there is here by supporting genocide for the first time in their history as by proxies, after doing that for 3 times in the last century. Okay. So Germany did not come to terms with their racism, actually. I try to use my privilege as a Jewish and at that time Israeli person when the genocide started, and I went to a place, Hermannplatz, where many Muslims and Palestinians live, to protest against the genocide. And I was arrested by the German police for the first time. At that time, they really were kind of nice to me as for the physical treatment, but you could see really the development also of the atmosphere and what is being done to Jews in Germany, yeah, on my body. And I would say, because I was arrested since then 4 times, and the last time, or last 2 times, they were also searching on my body for nothing, of course. And I was also dragged by policemen for carrying the same sign that the state attorney already approved as legal. Yeah. So it's about pure persecution and trying to get people out of the public sphere. Yeah. And of course, as a Jew, I also faced it. I mean, people told me there was an historical picture. Seeing, many policemen, and especially for Jews in the world, in Israel, seeing so many policemen with boots dragging, let's say, not the youngest Jewish woman, is something that evokes, of course, association and the historical meaning of all that, and actually the return of the Nazi to the German sphere. And we see Nazi demonstration in Germany, we see Nazi talk, we see, we hear this rhetoric. You can just substitute, instead of migrants, Muslims, Palestinians, you can just put the word Jews, and we are in the mid-30s of the last century in Germany. Well, I think that Germany wants to equate Zionism with Judaism because Germans want to become the Jews. That means if in the past German has to convert to Judaism, and the German state subsidized it also and promoted such a conversion to the Reform Judaism, which was existing prior to the Holocaust. Now it's easier. You can just become Zionist and then you become a Jew. And the meaning of that is that you become the victim. Now, this is exactly the story or the narrative of the right-wing parties and thinking in Germany, that actually they are the victims of World War II and the victims of the Jews they were before. And now they are the Jews, but they are the victims of the migrants, of the Arabs, of the Muslims who are going to take over. It's the same story, it's just, different actors on the stage.